Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal planners for the next week in November, which is Thanksgiving week. And I've got some markers here ready to go, as well as some Girl Boss Anna overlay inks, some washi tapes that I may use, and these sticker books which I'll pull from. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay down some wax paper to get started on this week's spread. So I have an idea for what I want to do. Since it is Thanksgiving week, I thought I would do a transitional spread, kind of going from the fall holiday look to the Christmas winter holiday look. I went back and forth on which stickers I thought I might use for this spread, but decided to use these houses from the Planny Things sticker books. I have, I think, all of her houses and trees sticker books, so I have number 1, number 2, and then the Christmas houses and trees as well. The two that I'm pulling from here are actually the houses and trees part 1 and part 2. And I believe part 1 is the one that I'm pulling the fall side of things, so the more fall looking houses. The ones that are on that page, there are some that are a little bit more Halloween focused, so I didn't want to pull those. I was sticking with just the more traditional fall, like leaves changing style houses. And then on the opposite side, I'm going for more of a Christmas holiday look, with a little bit of snow and some wreaths on the door, that kind of thing. And in the very center, I have one that it's going to be the transitional house that I've already cut in half. That one there has a little bit of snow on it, but is not decked out in traditional holiday garb, so I thought that would be a good transition house, or like a crossover house. So it was pretty simple to find the fall houses that I thought I would use, but I was having a little bit of trouble matching up the scale of the Christmas houses, even though there's quite a bit to choose from. The ones that I was pulling either had a little bit too much snow or were a little bit too small in comparison, or too large in comparison to the other side's houses, so I had to mix and match a little bit and find the right kind of combination of houses to work on the right side. I think this is going to be pretty cool. The lucky thing is that Thanksgiving falls on Thursday every year, and so Thanksgiving is a day that I don't plan to do much of my to-dos, so I have a little bit more freedom to put decor on that day. And then on the opposite side of the page, I have the This Week area, which again, I can kind of eliminate some of the functionality if I need to in order to add some more decor. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this spread. That works out perfectly for this bottom heavy design, since it will be taking up quite a bit of space out of those days. So I'm still finagling the houses on the right side for the holiday side of things, but I think I'm getting close to a final layout with those houses. It's fun to do these transitional spreads each year in a horizontal. It always works out perfectly because Thanksgiving falls on Thursday. It's like the perfect split between the days on the pages, and then I can go into Friday and do more of the holiday focus. Every year I do try to do a transitional spread, make it fun. It's just a fun way to kind of use your planner in a different way creatively. So I decided to add in a tree here on the left-hand side for fall, just to fill in a little bit of a gap I was seeing between the houses. I think that really helps sell the fall look a little bit more too. And I'll probably do something similar here on the right with a snow-covered tree. Again, just more for that transitional look. So I think we're all set with the houses decor here at the bottom. And now we'll start figuring out what we're going to do up here as far as a little bit of color and decor within the days. So I pulled out the Girl Boss Anna overlay inks, and I have 3 colors that I'm probably going to work with here. A kind of a warm red orange tone, the soft green, and the soft yellow. I think those ones will work the best. I did pull out a couple of other options to try to layer up that orange red with to see if I could get a little bit more of a holiday red out of it, but none of them are really looking how I wanted them to. So we're just going to keep that warm red and try to work it in to still create that look of fall on one side and holiday red and green on the other. We'll see how that works out. So now I'm thinking about focus boxes, and I pulled out one already from one of the houses and tree sticker book, but I'm in the Christmas houses and trees now looking for a few more boxes. There really wasn't much to choose from in the houses and trees part 2 sticker book, so it was a little bit hard to find the colors that I really wanted for this, transitional color scheme. I'm looking through the Christmas one now, but I'm gonna go ahead and look into some of the other Planny Thing books that I have in my stash, see if I can find a better match for the fall colors that I'm looking for. And I did find a nice yellow one in, I think that's the Autumn Florals sticker book. I had one more orange box in there, luckily, which I really kind of needed to sell this idea. But it's a little bit small, so the other ones were all the same size, a standard focus box size, I would say, but the other one's a little bit small, so I'm going to try to figure out how to camouflage that a bit since it's the only orange one I have left in my stash. And I went ahead and put away the green one that had the house actually printed on it, just because I wanted it to look a little bit cleaner and simpler up here so it didn't conflict with the decor at the bottom. Let's figure out how we're gonna work these guys in. And I had the idea just to switch the position of the orange and the yellow so that the box size of the orange box would be somewhat camouflaged by the house sizes. It needed to be a little bit smaller there to fit in the space, so I think that'll work well to, again, hide the fact that it's smaller than the others. And then I went pretty symmetrical here with the design, putting the boxes pretty much in a triangular shape, but even on both sides, if you can kind of see. I've also put in the colors of the Girl Boss Anna washi tapes behind it just to beef up the color a little bit of these clusters I'm about to make. I really like this color per day look. I think that'll really help just give a little bit of interest to the spread. I'm in the seasonal fall sticker book from the Happy Planner now, and originally I thought I was going to use these copper quotes, but they're a little bit, I don't know, the copper just isn't working for me. I really liked what they said though, because it had the season's greetings and the give thanks. But I decided to go with the black quotes instead, just because it was a little bit easier to blend in with the rest of the decor. It didn't stand out as much as those copper ones did. And I was able to add a bit more to the spread because I had more of those quotes that I think fit, especially on the Thanksgiving side with the food and the so very thankful. The holiday side's a little bit sparse. I did put the grateful heart on that side as well as the sweater weather. So they kind of work on the holiday side, but I think that the Thanksgiving side is a little bit better match as far as what the quotes say. Now we're just trying to figure out what else I can add in here to beef up these clusters a little bit, make them a little bit cuter and more interesting. I have this washi tape here that I actually pulled in case I did decide to use these quotes. It's just like a little bit of a scripty font that I think always matches really well with this black scripty quote style that's in that seasonal fall sticker book. So I'm going to put a little bit of that next to these sticker clusters and see how that looks. Just again, a little more for texture and just to give a little interest. I'm also thinking of adding some leaves at the top, maybe flowing down into the scene, just to give a little bit of something extra at the top. I'm trying out these leaves that I have here, but I don't know, they're just not quite the fit I want for the transitional look, especially on the holiday side. I think they would have worked perfectly on the fall side, but on the holiday side, it didn't feel right. So I went ahead and put those back, and now I'm looking for some other items to add in here. I'm also looking into the fall and winter sticker books that I pulled originally for backup, really, in case I couldn't find quotes that I really liked to work with. These two books have the same font as far as the quotes that are in them, so if you are doing a transitional spread and you have these two books, hopefully you can find something that will work in here as well in case you don't have the right quotes from other books. And now I am just going through those books to see if there's anything I can add in here to add a little bit of interest. Tried some box stickers, but I didn't like the additional feels of the color that was being added in, so I put those back. And now we'll try some washi tape, see if that will work. But I thought that the black was a little too strong. Also going to go ahead and look in my stash, maybe pull in some color that again kind of goes with that all the same color on the same day kind of cluster feel. So I do have two grid washis from the planning thing that I've pulled in here. I think will work really nicely with the red and the yellow. And then for the green and the orange, I think I'm just going to pull out some more solid washi that I have in my stash and make that work on those, since I don't have a grid pattern that works for those two colors. So I've layered those up. I think they're starting to look a little bit better, got more interest going on. Still trying to figure out how to bring a little bit more to the top of the spread to help balance out the bottom heavy decor. And I thought it'd be really cute to do a sky on this one. I wasn't real sure how best to do it though. I do have some cloud washi in my stash, which I thought about for a second, but then I remembered seeing these clouds as I was flipping through and thought maybe I could get these to work. So I'm going to put the fluffier, more cumulus style clouds here on the right hand side for the holiday to kind of, denote more weather, if you will, more snowy style weather. And then the flat clouds I'll put on the fall side, just to kind of give a little bit of differentiation between the two sides. And I think I'm not going to do much more than that, just a little bit of something to give the spread a feel of completeness, if you can kind of see how it all matches up together. Thought I would try out some washi on the side as maybe a little bit of a border, or maybe even adding a little bit more texture in with this dotted black and white washi. But as I was laying in both of those, I just felt like it was adding a little bit too much to the spread and detracting again from the main event, which is the bottom decor. So I do try it out, but I ended up taking back the washi and just keeping the 2 layered ones I had there on the spread. Let's go ahead and start moving things over. I'm going to start here on the left-hand side with these clouds. I will be whiting out the darker black lines when these clear stickers touch them, just because I want it to have a nice clean look behind those clear stickers. And I'll even do that on some of the quotes and things when they touch the gray lines as well, if I really want a nice clean background for those. And I'm using a Sakura white jelly roll pen for this. It's just a plain white opaque ink. You know, many people do pens in that style, but this one in particular is one of my favorites. I have tried the Uniball, I think it's Signo, and I didn't have very good luck with that, even though it was highly recommended. It just depends on the pens that you get. I've heard people having trouble with the jelly roll pens, and I think that it might be, you know, just how long the ink's been sitting, or if it starts to separate in the pen, sometimes it gets harder to apply, which is what I think happened to the set I got from Uniball. But anyway, I have had pretty good luck with the Sakura jelly roll, so I do recommend those as, you know, really good whiteout pens, especially for these fine lines. The pen and as many of the things as I can find from this spread will be down below as links in the description. If you guys are looking for anything, do check that out, and hopefully you can find what you're looking for. If there's something that you can't find and have a question on, feel free to drop that in the comments, and I'd be happy to help find it or provide as much information as I can if you want to go on the hunt for something that may be harder to find. And going to drop in those houses, which I've already done, and now I'm going to put in these sticker quote clusters here. And again, white out behind those quotes. I'm also going to do the gray lines behind these. Just want them to have a nice clean background so they're really easy to read and pop out from the back. And the right page is looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and trim out the bottom. There is a little bit of leftover that I think I can reuse here in these trimmings just to solidify the bottom here so it looks like everything is grounded. So I just add a little bit of extra there underneath the tree to make it look like it was seamless there. And we'll see what we can do here on the holiday side as well. Again, whiting out behind these stickers as I push them on. And this side here, the ground is supposed to be white or like a light blue in most instances, so you can kind of get away with not having a little bit of something there in the bottom. No grass or trees. I think that'll still work out with the stickers because of that whole snowy theme. And we'll trim those out as well. Let's get a nice clean look. And move over these remaining sticker clusters here on the right side. And I really wanted to get the positioning right on this quote, so I'm going to do this one separately from the box. And also pull up the quote itself to white out behind it. And that looks good. Make some small adjustments. Okay, we've got one more left here to do. This one in the green. We'll just put that down there on Sunday. Again, whiting out behind the quote. Give that a little bit of time to dry before I push it down. Also lift up the edge there, make sure I cover all the lines. I'm going to rearrange these washies just so it has a little bit nicer look. It was a little bit off center before. And then finally we'll move over the cloud clusters. And I'll drop this in. A little bit of white out behind it as well. And I'll trim off this cloud and maybe try to add in the trimmings there at the bottom, since there's quite a little bit of blue that might work down here below on the holiday side as maybe like snow or ice or something. We'll see how that goes. And I'll add that in. And then we'll go ahead and trim out the holes so that I can get this guy into my planner. And once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye!